What's up guys, it's Rob, and today we're going to be looking at the Roccat Burst Pro. Before I get started, just wanted to let you all know I added this mouse to my mouse review sheet. Link to that is down in the description, please go check it out. I add all of the mice I review into that sheet. Now, the Roccat Burst Pro comes in at $60 and it weighs 69 grams with a bit of cable. The size and shape of this mouse is extremely similar to that of the Rival 3 and the XM1. Also the Aerox 3, but the Aerox 3 is just the same shape as the Rival 3. But it does have the wide back, just like the XM1 and Rival 3. Here's the Rival 3, Burst Pro, Aerox 3 wireless, Rival 3 wireless, and the XM1 RGB. They are very similar when it comes to shape and size. And honestly, I am in love with this shape. I mainly use claw grip when gripping all my mice, and I think this shape and size is perfect for my hand size. So yeah, my hand length comes in at 17.5 centimeters long, and the width of my hand is around 9.5 centimeters wide. One of the main differences with the shape and size compared to all the other mice I just showed is that the Burst Pro feels like it fills your hand more, and it feels bulkier than the rest of the mice. Because of this, I am able to palm this mouse. It is a decent size, and for my hand size, it is great for palm. And like I said before, I do use claw grip as my main grip, and also fingertip grip is also doable with this mouse. And all grip choices at my hand size are perfect with this mouse. One thing I would note, depending on your hand size or the size of your thumb, is the side buttons are pretty big. And I don't really have big thumbs or big hands, but if I lay my thumb here, it's really close to touching the side buttons. And if you have a big thumb, you will be having to rest your thumb over the side buttons. But like I said before, this is all depending on how you grip the mouse. If you fingertip, you're most likely gripping it like this and it won't be an issue, but just something to note because of the big side buttons and if you have big hands. The worst feature of this mouse is definitely the coating. The top shell and the mouse buttons have this cheap plastic feeling, and honestly it's pretty bad for your hands. I have very sweaty hands and it can feel pretty bad. It doesn't really get too slippery, it just doesn't feel good. And the sides feel like a different material and they feel slippery as well, but they don't feel as bad as the top shell, and they don't really get slippery. The top shell gets a tad bit slippery, and that's probably the worst feature about this mouse, and it's pretty much the only bad thing I can think of when it comes to this mouse, really. The cable is actually pretty solid for a stock cable. I would probably still end up paracording this mouse, but I definitely don't think it really needs it all that much. I'm just crazy about flexible cables, and this cable is barely stiff, and it's a very solid cable for sure. And you can definitely go without having to paracord this mouse. Now, one thing that really surprised me about this mouse are the mouse feet. The mouse feet are absolutely amazing. It glides so well on the mouse pad, it feels incredible. These are definitely the best stock mouse feet I have used on any mouse, and I'm pretty sure it'll be that way for a while because these are just the best stock feet, and you definitely 100% do not need to replace the mouse feet on this mouse. And I obviously do not run into any issues with the mouse feet. Mouse 1 and 2 feel alright. They aren't crazy satisfying to click, and they aren't very loud either, but they do seem just average, to be honest. Nothing crazy, but nothing wrong with them either, so no problem there. Also, for mouse 1 and 2, I have heard complaints from some people that their copies have very stiff and heavy clicks. That's not the issue with mine, but I have heard multiple people say that, so just be aware of that. If you do end up buying this mouse, potentially you could have very heavy clicks on your Burst Pro. Side buttons, like I said before, are pretty good, and I do like that they are big in size. They feel good to press, no complaints about the side buttons at all. And for people with big hands, just keep in mind the side buttons are pretty big. Now for the scroll wheel feels great when scrolling down and scrolling up, and also middle mouse button feels good to press as well. I ran into no issue with the scroll wheel at all. Also, this isn't really a feature of the mouse, and I wouldn't recommend trying this because I don't know if this could damage your scroll wheel or anything like that, but for a lot of people's copies that I've seen, if you move the scroll wheel to the left, like that, you hear a small click. I'll do it again. You could hear a small click right there. It actually makes the scroll wheel harder to press down on. But if you move it to the right, it makes it easier to press down on the scroll wheel. And I don't know if this is intentional. I wouldn't recommend doing it just in case it's not and it could potentially harm your scroll wheel. But yeah, I just thought it was something to note. The scroll wheel doesn't move left or right when I'm playing, so it's not a big deal. But yeah, just thought I'd mention that. Now for the build quality, this feels like an extremely solid mouse. Incredible build quality, no creaking anywhere. Some very, very minimal flex when pushing down on the bottom of the mouse, but no big deal, of course. No rattling when I shake the mouse, no real complaints. This is a very solid and well-built mouse. And the XM1, Rival 3, and now Burst Pro shape is one of my favorites, so definitely will be using this mouse again. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching the video. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you guys later. Bye!